You have been lied to about how the TOEFL IBT works, and those lies are preventing you from getting a respectable passing score. Hello, my name is Mr. Hearn, and I am your TOEFL tutor. What I'm talking about is the myth that surround the TOEFL IBT that many tutors are teaching that are just wrong. Now, I say that you've been lied to. Maybe these other tutors are good people and they just don't know enough about the TOEFL IBT to tell you how it really works. Well, let me take a moment now to tell you some of the issues that you need to deal with the TOEFL IBT to pass that have nothing to do with your English skills. That's right. So let's take a look at the timing myth. You see, most tutors will tell you that in the reading section, you have 54 minutes to answer 30 questions. And so you have 1 minute and 48 seconds per question to answer them. That's absolutely false. First of all, you have to read in the passage as well as answer the questions. And so that reduces the amount of time you would have anyway. But it's even more different than that. You see, when you're answering questions, some of them are really fast and easy to answer. I mean, if you're good at vocabulary, you look at a vocabulary question, how long does it take you to answer it when you know all the choices and you know which one is the right one? I don't know, 15, 20 seconds, maybe 30 at the most if you're really careful. So do you sit there after you've answered the question and go, oh no, I've only taken 30 seconds. I need to wait another minute and 18 seconds before I do the next question? No, that's ridiculous. So this myth about having 1 minute and 48 seconds per question only causes you to have anxiety. Some questions are easy to answer and some questions are more challenging and take a little more time. So those questions that are easy to answer that you can answer in 30 seconds or less or 1 minute or less, that gives you the time that you need to answer those questions that might take 2 minutes or even 3 minutes. So don't panic and don't get caught up on the time. What you need to do is be familiar with each question so that you know how much time you're going to spend on each type of question, you see? And there are questions that you may be spending a lot of time on that are actually really easy once you know how to do them. For example, insert sentence questions, question number 9 or the 9th question in each passage. Many of my students come to me and they're taking 4 or 5 minutes to answer these questions because they're reading the bold sentence and then they're reading the paragraph and they're trying to reason out where that sentence goes. Well, that's not how you do it. Once you know the structure and rules of the test, you can answer these questions in 30 seconds or less. And I'm not kidding, right? 30 seconds or less, 45 seconds if your English skills are intermediate or just not that good. Because once you know how the test works, everything is so much easier and it's faster and easier to get accurate answers on your questions. Now, let's see what else. Oh, the listening section. In the listening section, you have 41 questions and only 28 minutes to answer all of those questions. So tutors say, well, you've got 1 minute and 28 seconds per question to answer them. No, you don't. No, you don't. Some of these questions can be answered in 30 seconds or less. Some of them might take you as much as a minute. How do you know which ones are going to take longer? Through practice and experience. But what they're really testing you on in the listening section, and this is important, you need to know how to take notes properly. Now, I know many of my students are doctors or studying to be doctors, and they're very well educated. Maybe you are very well educated, but you're still having difficulty passing this test. Most of my students have passed their boards or their professional exams, and they've not been able to pass the TOEFL. Why? Because the TOEFL isn't the kind of test you think it is. It has very specific structures and rules that you have to know how it works in order to be able to get a respectable passing score. When I say respectable passing score, I mean that if you need a 95, you need 100. And if you're required to get 100, you need 107. Now, I've been doing this since 2007, and I do college placement as well, so I can tell you exactly what is required of you. So if you're struggling to get over 100, you need to know how to take the TOEFL IBT in the way that it's structured. Did you know that in the reading section, if you're reading, and trying to understand what you've read and use what you learned to answer questions and reason it out, you will never be able to pass this test because it doesn't work that way. These passages where other tutors tell you that you need to study all the subjects first and get familiar with all the different subjects before you take this test is completely wrong. In fact, the more you know about the subject, the worse you're going to do. Conversely, the less you know about the subject and the more you know how the test works, the better you will do. If you've been studying a long time and spending a lot of hours every day practicing, you need to stop doing that. Come and see me. Let me tell you how the test works so you can practice less than an hour a day, right? Practice less than an hour a day and still improve your score significantly in a very short time. It's a matter of knowing how the test works. It's not about English. The TOEFL IBT, the test of English as a foreign language, is not a test of English as a foreign language. It's a test of college readiness. You see, ETS wants to know if you have the study skills you need to do well in university. That's what this is all about. Oh, and by the way, if you're not going to university, you're just having to take the TOEFL for your professional job, it doesn't matter because the test is the way the test is, and you have to take it the way it's created. If you keep trying to do what you're doing and you've been failing over and over, you know what they say about doing the same thing in the same way, expecting a different outcome. What I teach in my course is all the little things you need to know, all the things that ETS does to trick you into having anxiety, to trick you into reading too much, to trick you into picking wrong choices. Because did you know that in the reading section and the listening sections, they have a lot of information that is just there to cause anxiety, waste your time, and trick you into picking wrong choices. That's correct. The test is designed to trick you. That's why it's so hard to pass. It's not about English. It's about knowing how to take the test. Okay, so I'm becoming redundant. You know, the speaking and the writing sections, they're all about the rubric. You have to know the rules and structures that ETS requires of you to respond. Your English could be perfect, better than mine, and yet you'll still get low scores on the TOEFL IBT if you don't respond the way the graders want you to. In my course, I teach you exactly how to respond. And oh, by the way, if you think you got the hand up because you got templates or you've got those special vocabulary words that are going to guarantee you a high score, think again. The test tells you specifically, do not use memorized responses. What are they telling you? Don't use templates. This company makes $5 billion a year. You think they don't know what the templates are, or if you're using templates or you're throwing in some vocabulary words to try to boost your score? ETS considers that cheating and they give you a lower score automatically. You'll never pass doing that. So I don't do templates. Wish I could. If I had no conscience, I could sell templates and I'd be a millionaire, but it doesn't work. What I do is I teach you the rules of the test and the structures you are required to use to respond. It's much simpler than you might think. And so you don't need to use templates when you're doing things the way it's expected of you. All right. If you want to know how to answer all of the questions quickly, easily, and accurately and score well over 100 on your TOEFL IBT, even if you've struggled in the past, right? Even if you've struggled in the past, if you don't know how to do something correctly, all the practice in the world isn't going to help. But once you know how to do something the right way, it only takes a little bit of practice to get good at it and to pass your test. It's kind of like having the right key for the lock on a door. If you have the wrong key, I don't care how many times you try, it's going to fail. But when you have the correct key, you only have to put it at the door, turn it, it opens the door. It works. That's what I'm teaching you. I'm teaching you step by step exactly how to answer each question on the TOEFL IBT, as well as all of the little tricks that they use to prevent you from passing. All right, what you need to do to get a hold of me is simply click on the link in the first comment. Click on the link in the first comment, come to my website, subscribe. Once you subscribe, you're going to have complete access to my video course. It's unlimited access to all of the videos for each question. There's a video for each question, and it's step by step. I teach you in very direct, simple English, exactly how to answer each question. And I would like you to join the TOEFL community where you can talk to other professionals as well as ask me any question that you have about the TOEFL IBT. And I answer you well within 24 hours. This is what I do, right? I know other tutors, they have lives, blah, 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 blah. This is what I do. Since 2007, every day except Christmas and Easter, every day I am at my desk and I am checking my emails and I'm checking my website to make sure that I can free you up from the frustration of not being able to answer these questions. That's what I do, is I help you to get through this test as quickly as possible with the highest score as you possibly can. I want you to subscribe to my channel and join the TOEFL IBT community so that you can ask me questions. And when you subscribe, every other Saturday, I have a 2-hour or more live Q&A, and I invite you to join, right? Where you can ask me any question you want, and I go through the steps. I put up examples, right? I put up examples that are true ETS test examples, not something that I made up myself. Those tests don't work. Believe me, if you're practicing with anything other than the newest, most up-to-date ETS TOEFL IBT practice tests, there's a reason why you keep failing, because the other tests don't work. Even the older tests from the 6th edition, from the 4th and 5th edition, those tests don't work anymore because ETS has changed the rules. That's another thing I do about my courses. I'm always studying the test, studying how my students think so that I can tell you exactly how to answer the questions on the test that you're about to take. It's all about being able to get on with your life, and that's what I'm here for. That's what I've devoted my life to, is to helping you to get on with your life, get past this crazy test, and get moving. So what are you waiting for? If you haven't already, click on the link below. Go to my website, subscribe, email me. Let me know that you're here, and you'll find that I email you back, usually within an hour, right? Usually within an hour, unless I'm in class with another student, because I do personal classes. If I'm not in the class with another student, I'm with you. That's it for now. I hope to hear from you. Go on, click that link. Hurry up. I'll see you there.